The second thing that bothers me is the UFO story. And, the more you dig into that and talk to people with actual knowledge of it, again, that's another story where there are some, fanciful ideas floating around that are just, there's no evidence that they're true. But if you talk to people who, have actual knowledge of it that they gathered themselves, there are parts of that story that I do not understand at all that are really, really, really dark. It's so dark that I, haven't told my wife about it. I mean, I haven't verified any of this, but this is not just stuff that I read on the internet. I know you all are very, very grounded in that story, so I think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff there that's just like, man, I'm not even sure what that means. There's a spiritual component there that I don't fully understand. So yes, that story bothers me. And I think, last thing I'll say, that one of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all of these, 10 whistleblowers at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression. Parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out.
So what exactly is Tucker Carlson talking about when it comes to aliens and UFOs? What is dark? What is spiritual? And what is it about aliens and UFOs that if the truth came out, humanity cannot handle the truth? This does sound awfully familiar to when a former president was told the truth about aliens and UFOs. He broke down, he began to cry, he sobbed. During the presidential campaign of 1976, Democratic challenger Carter was forthcoming about his belief that he had seen a UFO. He described waiting outside for a Lions Club meeting in Leary, Georgia, to begin at about 7:30 p.m., when he spotted what he called the darnest thing I've ever seen in the sky. Carter was not alone witnessing this event. There were about 10 to 12 other people who witnessed the same event, described the object as very bright with changing colors and about the size of the moon. Carter reported that the object hovered at about 30 degrees above the horizon and moved in toward the Earth and away before disappearing into the distance. Prior to this man did not believe in UFOs and aliens and ridiculed anybody who had that belief. He later told a reporter that after that experience, he vowed never again to ridicule anyone who claimed to see a UFO. He stands firm in that belief. During the presidential campaign of 1976, Carter promised that if elected president, he would encourage the government to release every piece of information about UFOs available to the public and the scientists. After winning the presidency, though, Carter backed away from this pledge, saying that the release of some information might have defense implications and pose a threat to national security. So Carter never released any information about what he knew about UFOs and aliens. But if this was something that simply posed a national security threat, why would he break down? Why would he sob? Now, there are people that do believe, and I am talking about higher up people, do believe that the whole UFOs and aliens posing a national security threat is just a farce, and that the truth about UFOs and aliens is a lot darker. Ed Harris, former research associate at NASA Ames Research Center between 1988 and 1991, stated this about Jimmy Carter's briefing. Yes, the incident of Jimmy Carter crying after being briefed about classified information regarding UFOs is largely believed to be true by the serious researchers on this subject. As a forewarning, the following information is very unsettling and will explain why Carter never kept his promise of revealing classified UFO information to the public. According to the story that was corroborated by more than one witness, United States presidents are only given a cursory overview of the subject. Apparently, the CIA runs the program, only provides information to the president on a need-to-know basis, and do not consider presidential curiosity as sufficient need to know. This was implemented after Kennedy, and all presidents after him have been given only summary briefings. Some presidents, for unknown reasons, were given more than others. President Carter is a deeply religious man who had also witnessed a UFO with multiple people. Everyone thought that he would be the one to finally release UFO info to the public, but as the story goes, he was repeatedly stonewalled. Eventually, the CIA had to talk with him, and afterward, it was reported that he had sunk his hands into his head and not only began to deeply sob, but was also visibly disturbed for some time afterwards. So what was he told and shown? He was told that major religions, including Christianity, and Carter was a big Christian, were programs created by extraterrestrials to prevent us from destroying ourselves while they ran experiments on us, and that they made us. At this moment, it became clear to Carter that such information could cause tremendous economic and social upheaval. Now, this post continues to state, and I do believe this is coming from Ed Harris himself, I should add that I am not only a Christian, but a clergyman, so I am no way attempting to promote atheism. He does continue to state that how God fits into this might be interesting in a separate post. Now, again, the story is coming from somebody who worked with NASA. Do I believe and trust in NASA? No, I do not. I would be a major hypocrite, especially with some of the videos that I've made, if I were to say I put my complete faith in somebody from NASA. But there does happen to be some truth in this story. Jimmy Carter did state that he did indeed see a UFO with multiple people. He did make a campaign promise to release UFO information to the public, and he backed away from this promise. Many people in this country are still deeply religious. Maybe they're not as many people as there once was, especially during Jimmy Carter's time, but it is apparent that people are still religious in this country, whether they're Christians, whether they're Muslims, whether they're Jewish, no matter what their religion is, we still do have people who are religious in this country. So I can see how something like this could be very dark and terrifying to somebody who's religious, that the God you believe in, the God you put your faith into, is a creation from another being. And this other being are the ones that actually created us, and that we are just test subjects, and that religion was only put on earth to bring peace on earth. Now, if this is the case, if this is indeed true, this really doesn't make much sense. Why would aliens put multiple different gods on earth if they want to bring peace? Did they not foresee that we would argue over these different gods as who is the real God? Because it really didn't work out for humanity. For thousands of years, we have been fighting over religion. We have been fighting over different gods and who is the one true God. Now, if this story is believed to be true, did aliens or these beings give us one religion, one God, or one God system to believe in, and we as humans over time just took it and ran with it and created different gods for ourselves? Or another possibility is that these aliens, these beings, could actually be what people do believe to be fallen angels or demons, and that they're telling humans, they're telling leadership that religion, God does not exist. We are the gods. We are the ones that created you, to stop us from believing in a real God. I do believe that is what Ed Harris was trying to get into with his second post when it came to God. I couldn't find the second post, but it does make a lot of sense that these aliens, these beings, these extraterrestrials are demons. Now, I know some people want to say that that's a stupid way to believe that these aliens, these extraterrestrials are evil and demons, but hear me out. The word alien, when people think of the word alien, they think of a being from another planet, from outside our world. But the word alien is very broad. I don't know why people generalize the word, but the word is very broad. It can even mean people, humans, not from this country, from another country. So when I think of the word alien, I think of beings, creatures, animals, humans, whatever, that are foreign. They could be from the waters, they could be from the depths below, they could even be from another dimension, outside our dimension. They can literally be from anywhere. There can be multiple different types of aliens. And I do believe that the aliens that the government plays with, the aliens that the CIA has knowledge of, are exactly that, demons from another dimension. Now, before you say that's absolute crazy talk or there's no such thing as demons, we do have to remember I have made multiple videos touching on the topic about occultists actually summoning in these demons, and there's actual proof that they had knowledge of these gray aliens before the first reported known sighting of a gray alien. The Way, a drawing by Aleister Crowley depicting Lam, a supposed entity channeled by him in 1918 during the Amalanthra workings. The Amalanthra is extreme dark occultic sex magic used to summon in these beings. One of the beings summoned in was Lam, who looks exactly like a gray alien, and the first reported sighting of a gray alien wasn't until the 1960s, when Betty and Barney Hill were abducted.
What is it? And I try to maintain control so Betty cannot tell I am scared. God, I'm scared.
It's all right. You can go right on, experience it. It will not hurt you now.
I got to get my gun. I gotta get my gun.
All right. All right, that's all.
I gotta get my gun.
Go to sleep, Steve. You got to get now.
Oh,
You
Lord.
forget it now. You've forgotten. Calm now. Relax. Deeply relaxed.
Now, people want to say that Lamb does not look like a gray alien because gray aliens have big black eyes and they don't have nostrils. But Betty and Barney Hill sighting looks more like Lamb than the traditional gray alien we see today. The traditional gray alien we see today that has big black eyes and no nostrils are pretty much a Hollywood depiction of a gray alien. Betty and Barney Hill's depiction of a gray alien, like I said, looks more like Lamb, where their alien does have the nostrils and it lacks the big black eyes, but it still has that big forehead and those gray features. During Aleister Crowley's time in the early 1900s, the word alien was not used to describe these creatures or these beings. Aleister Crowley was quoted as stating, "Today they will call them angels and demons. Tomorrow they will call them something else. So now we call them aliens." But during his time, he knew it as summoning in demons, falling angels. Like I said, Aleister Crowley's dark occultic magic was extreme. It involved children. It involved sacrifices. But to him, this dark occultic magic worked. It was a success in bringing over these demonic entities. So much so that he passed this knowledge over to the founder of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, and also to Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons is the founder of Jet Propulsion Laboratory and the founder of rocket science. Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard go to a desert in New Mexico, and in this desert in the early 1940s, they began to practice the many dark rituals that were taught to them by Aleister Crowley. As years progressed in the 1940s, there was just an explosion of UFO and alien sightings. Matter of fact, there was that Roswell crash that involved an alien where the government recovered this alien body and this supposed UFO. Dark arts and sacrifices have always been a part of human history. Many tribes, even here in the Americas, Mayans, the Incans, and so forth, would use sacrifices to speak to the gods. So this is not just something that Aleister Crowley just made up and passed it on to L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons. Matter of fact, we still see many of these sacrifices and dark rituals taking place today in places like a certain grove in California where they practice the cremation of care, where they do a quote-unquote mock sacrifice to a god Moloch. Now, one of the dark occultic magics that L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons were practicing in the desert was called Babylon Working, a sex magic ritual intended to summon an incarnation of Babylon, the supreme goddess in Crowley's pantheon. So like I said, these things that they're summoning over are saying themselves they are gods and goddesses, but they're pretty much nothing more than just demons. Just look at the way they have to be summoned into this dimension. So this is exactly the knowledge that the CIA, Tucker Carlson, and so forth are aware of. These demons that are lying to them, that are claiming that they are the ones that created religion, that they are the ones that created humanity. God is not real. Now, like I said, there are multiple different kinds of aliens. And the aliens that are going to be used in Project Bluebeam are none other than holograms and artificial intelligence robots. But who's to say that these demons that they are summoning over with these dark rituals and perhaps even CERN are being fitted into these AI robotics, into these husks? They are using these robots to give these demons permanent form. Because you do have to remember that demons can pretty much possess anything. So I wouldn't doubt one bit that with this form, they would eventually attack humanity, and thus Project Bluebeam is born, and we do have to believe in a false alien demon messiah in order to survive, and then show our full allegiance to the New World Order. and I lay this all out in my bigger Project Bluebeam video, which I will link below. Now, do I believe Jimmy Carter was told information about UFOs and aliens that would shake the core of humanity? Perhaps. But I do believe he was told one big demonic lie by these entities that are summoned in by dark ritualistic magic. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help this channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.